Young and the Restless Spoilers. Chance Chancellor had always been the type of man who prided himself on honor, loyalty, and commitment. When he began his relationship with Summer Newman, he had genuinely believed in their connection, despite the complexities of her past with Kyle Abbott. Claire, on the other hand, was just as strong-willed and independent, finding herself deeply intertwined with Kyle. She had thought their relationship had potential, that maybe, despite Kyle's history with Summer, she could offer him something real, something grounded. But over time, both Chance and Claire began to realize that they weren't much more than collateral damage in Summer and Kyle's messy love story. From the moment Summer and Kyle reconnected after their respective breakups, something had shifted. The bond they shared, forged over years of history, was undeniable. What started as innocent co-parenting outings with Harrison soon took on a deeper meaning. Chance had tried to ignore the warning sign. The way Summer would talk about her time with Kyle, how her face lit up whenever Harrison was mentioned. Claire, too, had noticed Kyle's distant stares, how he seemed to be mentally absent even when they were together. Both Chance and Claire felt the sting of being sidelined. It wasn't long before the rumors started. Whispers around town suggested that Summer and Kyle's love wasn't as dead as everyone thought. Their outings with Harrison, intended to be for the child's sake, slowly began to resemble a family more than anything else. Kyle couldn't help but admire Summer's natural ability with Harrison, tenderness, and the way she made everything feel whole. He began to question himself. Maybe Summer was the mother Harrison deserved, and maybe he owed it to his son to give him the family he longed for. The reunion of Skyle. One fateful afternoon, while out on one of their outings with Harrison, Summer and Kyle found themselves falling back into old habits. Laughter came easily, the tension that had once existed between them melted away, and for a brief moment it was as if no time had passed since they were last together. Harrison's joy, playing alongside his parents, only solidified the feeling. They were a family. At least, they felt like one again. That night, the emotional weight of the day brought them closer than they had intended. Summer and Kyle ended up in a hotel room together, the lines of their relationship blurring dangerously. The passion between them reignited in a way that neither had expected, their love as intense as ever. They were secretive, knowing what this reunion could mean for their relationships with Chance and Claire, but they couldn't stop themselves. However, unbeknownst to them, someone had seen them. In the shadows of that very hotel, a camera clicked, capturing their secret reunion. The next morning, the images of their passionate night were sent to Claire, a woman who would never tolerate betrayal. Claire's discovery and determination for revenge. Claire was never one to play the victim. Strong, intelligent, and fiercely protective of her heart, she valued loyalty and expected the same from others. When the pictures of Kyle and Summer's secret meeting found their way to her inbox, Claire's heart shattered for a moment. But that moment of vulnerability quickly transformed into something else: rage. She had suspected that Kyle's heart wasn't fully with her, but she had hoped he would have the decency to end things before reigniting his romance with Summer. Now those hopes were dashed, and Claire was left to pick up the pieces of her pride. But one thing was clear: Kyle and Summer would pay for their betrayal, and Claire wasn't the type to sit idly by while others hurt her. Chance, too, had heard whispers about Summer's growing closeness to Kyle. Though he didn't have the photographic proof Claire now held, his instincts had already begun to warn him that Summer's affections were elsewhere. As a man who valued honesty, the thought of Summer betraying him with Kyle sent him spiraling into disillusionment. He had trusted her, given her his heart, but it seemed she had always belonged to someone else. The realization that both he and Claire had been made fools of by Summer and Kyle hit hard. But Claire's determination to seek revenge stirred something in Chance as well. He wasn't a man of revenge, but the idea of walking away without holding them accountable gnawed at him. Claire's revenge, a plan in motion. Claire wasn't one for impulsive acts of revenge. She was strategic, calculating, and determined to make Summer feel every ounce of the pain she had inflicted on others. Claire knew that the one thing Summer cherished above all else, besides Kyle, was her reputation, her image as the strong, independent, and fiercely protective mother figure in Harrison's life. Claire decided that if she was going to strike, she would do so in a way that cut Summer where it hurt the most. Summer had built her life on the idea of being the perfect mother, the perfect partner, and the ideal role model for Harrison. Claire's plan was simple but devastating. She would leak the photos, but not just to the public. She would ensure that those closest to Summer, especially her family, saw them first. It wasn't enough to expose the affair. Claire wanted to dismantle the very foundation of Summer's world. In the days that followed, Claire worked discreetly to spread the images, making sure they landed in the hands of those who would gossip the loudest. Soon, the whispers about Summer and Kyle's affair were no longer just rumors. They were fact. And as the news spread, Summer's carefully curated image began to crumble. People in Genoa City started to view her differently, questioning her loyalty, her integrity, and her role as a mother. Fallout. As Summer and Kyle's affair became public knowledge, fallout was swift and brutal. Summer, who had always prided herself on being the perfect partner and mother, found herself at the center of a scandal that threatened to destroy her life. The once admired mother figure was now seen as a homewrecker, someone who had selfishly pursued her own desires at the expense of others. Kyle, too, wasn't spared the backlash. His betrayal of Claire, a woman who had stood by him despite his complicated history, made him the subject of scorn and judgment. Though he had rekindled his love for Summer, couldn't escape the fact that his actions had hurt people who had trusted him. But Claire didn't stop there. She had more in store for Summer. Using her business acumen, she began to undermine Summer professionally, ensuring that deals fell through, partnerships soured, and opportunities disappeared. Summer's world, both personal and professional, was falling apart, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. In the end, Claire's revenge was more than just a response to betrayal. It was a calculated dismantling of everything Summer had worked for. And as Summer and Kyle's love story reignited, they realized too late that their actions had cost them more than they had bargained for.